What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Minimal Cards YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a how-to or update video on the Pokemon card business that I started about 4.5 months ago. Refreshed it, and it's just going to be an update on everything that I've learned, along with some numbers and how the business has been performing. Before we get into this, though, please drop a like, drop a comment, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps the channel, and since we're so new, it goes a long way. Also, if you could drop a comment on things you've tried, questions you have, if you want to just talk about something for Pokemon business or hobby or what to buy, what to sell, I would love to have conversations. So that goes a long way. I'd rather that than anything. So also, before I get into this real quick, I'm very humble when I say these things. I've worked my tail off. I don't want anybody to think I'm bragging about numbers. I just like to be truthful. I've said that since day one, and I want to show how you can run this as a business, a hobby, and your own collection. So I just wanted to make that clear because I think it's very important so people know I am just truthfully telling you guys this update. And you can watch the last one. I said every number, and I'm always posting the numbers as well. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is the importance of social media. So social media and growing a page and growing a network and a channel for people to kind of talk, and a community would be a better word, has been so important. My recommendation, go to shows, meet people, talk, get to know each other, do a deal here, do a deal there. Maybe don't win as much as you want on a certain deal, help somebody out, maybe make them money and you make money. It's very important to have these business relationships as well as you make friends. You really do. I have so many people on my phone now that I have a list of their names, deals we've done, Instagram handles, and they've been in my videos even, just because we did deals together. And now, like, I can message them and I can buy off them, I can sell to them, I can trade off them, and you know it's going to work, you know it's going to go through. So that's the biggest thing, and then it all comes back to you guys as well. I cannot say thank you enough to anybody who has bought off me, sold to me, had conversations with me, let me know that they're loving the YouTube content. I mean, that to me, I just can't even believe it sometimes. So growing your media network, channel, community, anything you want to do it. Don't listen to anybody else. Don't listen to anybody if they tell you it's not going to work. Don't listen to anybody if they tell you it's stupid. They make fun of it. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It's never going to bother me. And if you're honest and a good person and you can follow this business model, I think your network is going to be important. So growing your media, growing your socials, important. Number 2, learn to ask the important questions. Learn to think before completing the action. I was watching a podcast with Michael Rubin, the guy who owns Fanatics, and Jeff Wilson, which he's the sports card investor. But they were talking, and I have notes written right here, about questions that I have never thought of in my life. So I'm going to tell you guys what they are. And you can choose to do with them what you want. But they started asking, what are your total sales on cards graded? What are your total sales on cards raw? What are your total sales on sealed product? What's the margin difference between all three of those? What's the total volume you've done? What's the total cash flow you've seen? What are these, like, all these important things? How much interaction are you getting on social media when you post this? How much are you getting on that? Are Reels working better on Instagram? Are just all these things that are important when growing a TCG, Pokemon, sports cards business, all in all. For me, total inventory units, 364 total units, and it's April 13th, so in 4.5 months. 160 has been graded cards, or cards I've graded. 100 cards have been raw, or are currently raw, depending if I've sold them or not. And 104 units of inventory have been ETBs, or mainly blister packs. One Piece did really well for me. I only collect what I know. So as I get into the anime more, I tend to collect more and more cards. But until then, I'm able to move on from those because I like Pokemon a little bit more, just a little bit. The reason these questions are so important is because of how much you're paying for things, what you've paid, what you've sold, giving an idea, and then how you can take advantage of those. Using my numbers off of my Excel, year to date, in honesty, $13,618 is what I've paid all year in cards, raw cards, graded cards, anything. Grading, services, shipping labels, all that. I've done $15,945 in sales. And after some fees, because a lot of this is eBay, but it's slowly working its way to Instagram, and eventually I want to run my own website. Total graded card sales, so graded cards, 10,436 with a 15.46% margin on that, but it's taken up 65.5% of my total sales. So you start seeing that margin is a little bit smaller. My raw card margin, $2,681 in sales, is at 20.08% profit margin. but it's only taking up 16.8% of my total sales. And sealed products is at 2,200 with a 21.41% margin on profit and 13.8% of total sales. Now, what do all those numbers mean? It means that total volume, I'm moving 65% of my inventory in graded cards like this Palkia, which I actually just sold today for $70 shipped, and I paid $57.90 on it. So quick, easy deal. And but my margin is only at 15.46 per that. So smaller margin, more volume. Highest margin is going to be sealed product at 21.41%, but I'm only doing 13.8% of my total sales are sealed. I can't get the inventory. I just can't. It's too hard. There's people that are way better at getting in stores for me. Plus, I don't really enjoy that. I don't enjoy going into a place and buying out the entire lot. I just don't. It's not fun. Not opening the product is no fun. Absolutely no fun. But it's a great business model. It really is, and it sucks to say, but it is. So for me, I look at that as, okay, if I'm pushing 65% of let's just call it $16,000 in sales, well, then I need to take advantage of that and maybe push the sealed product to the side. And I would honestly like to see that move up to like 75% because I really enjoy grading cards now. I started grading my own cards. I did CGC this time around. I have a whole PSA lot that I'm going to be sending in. I graded PSA cards or PSA sports cards. So I sent in a lot not too long ago for that. So looking at this, I know that I need to focus on graded cards more. I just think it's a better attraction behind it. I think more people buy them. I think it's better. I think it looks better when a card is graded than a raw card because it sits in a binder compared to, you can put this in a very nice case. You can do that with raw, but you can put this in a super nice case and display it. I do it with all my PC cards. So it's important for me to be grading these cards and doing that. So kind of talking about those numbers, asking those important questions, that would be number 2. But just to kind of show proof of what I do, these are 3 deals that I've bought in the past 72 hours. But here is the Iona, the Gardevoir, and then a Skyla from Shiny V-Star, I believe. Shiny Star V. I paid $83 for those 3 cards, and the total value of all of them is $130 on Card Ladder on fluctuation and average, so roughly 65%. So the guy I know wanted to move these cards, he's having trouble because this is Japanese, and these are 2 sweet cards that I actually needed the Gardevoir for my master set, which is going to be in that binder right there. But it allows me to have some wiggle room on them. If I want to grade them, I can put them to the side. They're not too expensive of a card. I can take the 2 months, let them grade. A lot of margin behind that. And I already showed you the sale of the Palkia, and then here is 2 raw cards. Paid $5 for those 2, the Torterra and the Mewtwo EX. It's probably about $12 in value. They're in really good shape. Shout out to Adam. And then off of Blue Beetle, I just bought this off of him for $90, and it's about $125 card. So that leaves me a little bit of wiggle room with shipping. So let's just say $120 is what I'll get after shipping. That leaves me about 25% right there. And I know he won on this card too, which is awesome. So building those relationships. And here's a few more sales. The Unigaba PSA 10 set, I sold for $430. I bought it for $282, and we did $58.37 profit after eBay fees. Charizard 151 PSA 10, I bought for $225, sold for $328, made $40.80 profit on eBay. And then here's a loss, the Moltres, Zapdos, Articuno, Hidden Fate, Sun and Moon tag team card. Man, that was a mouthful. PSA 9, I actually bought it as a PSA 10. I messed up. That was on me. And I paid $35 for it basically and sold it for $25. So you're going to take losses. You're going to take wins. The idea behind it is make sure those wins completely outweigh the losses. And you keep moving on. That $25, I guarantee you, I have no idea which card it went into, but it's probably winning right now, which is how I think and how I negotiate. Passing on those examples and those sales, the biggest win that I've had since my last video is buying a table. I never thought that I would get to the point where I was buying these large purchases, but I bought an 83 PSA graded card lot. It was 83 cards for $3,500 plus 1 raw card, which was the Mew from Paldean Fates. And I still have a little bit of that inventory. This is it. That's all I have left. And that has a lot to do with being able to move inventory and making those connections. The guy that I bought from was great. It was in Pittsburgh, and he had so many PSA 10s, and I've learned so much from it. Now I know what sells quick and what doesn't sell quick. I actually struggle with trainers a lot, surprisingly. I thought the trainers would sell very, very quick. I thought because they weren't very high value cards, maybe people would want to PC them, but trainers don't really sell that well for me. So that's just something that I've been learning. But buying something like that was insane to me. And I can't believe it. But being able to move those cards, which I have, selling a few on eBay. I wouldn't say most of them, but I've sold a few on eBay. But then on Instagram, man, like it's just been unbelievable to me that I'm able to do this now on Instagram. And eventually I want to run my own website. I used to do it with a clothing brand, and I fell in love with it. I want to run a mystery pack, but I want to do it right. I want a picture of everything. I want you to see the chances of that card being in that bag. That's how I want to do it. I don't want it being packs. I want it being cards. You know what you can win. And that's my goal. That's the point I want to get to with this. And I think we can. I think I can do it. And I think I can make it so everybody wins too. Because I can charge less if I grade the cards and they come back good. So moving on from all that rambling and talking and numbers and showing examples, the other thing that I've learned is inventory management. So how can you constantly have cards for sale while constantly buying cards? The idea of being able to constantly buy cards while selling cards has been like a constant flow for me. This past month especially, I bought, you know, all of these in the past 72 hours and they're already here. Being able to maintain inventory for sales, inventory for shows, and selling at the same time and buying at the same time has been crucial for me, because I was running into the problem where if I sold out, I had nobody to buy off of. I had to wait till the next show, and if I don't get lucky at that show and somebody's willing to, you know, wheel and deal with me, I can't buy. I can't. Like it just doesn't make any sense unless I want it for my PC, of course. So being able to maintain the inventory, grading my own cards, getting huge lots back, it's definitely something that I highly recommend. If you can do it, make sure you work on your inventory management. That is pretty much going to wrap up the video. We talked about, you know, starting your social media and building a community and building a network. Shout out to you guys. You've been awesome. This has been unreal to me. Learning to ask the right questions. Ask the right questions. Ask the questions to yourself. Ask the questions to the people that you know do this. Ask me questions if you want to. I am no expert. Do not think I'm an expert. I just know what I've learned. And I'm very, very willing to help if anybody wants to know that. Figure out your inventory, figure out your management system, make sure you have constant inventory, make sure you're constantly selling, and make sure you're constantly buying. Build that up. If you start with $200 like I did, you probably won't be able to do it in the beginning, but if you work your way like I have, and you put the time and effort into it, buy those small cards, flip them. Buy the medium cards, flip them. Buy one or two and a couple small cards, flip them. Build, build, build like a pyramid. It will pay off in the end. And then finally, man, just have fun. Just enjoy it. Like this is like the best hobby in the world. Sports cards, TCG, Pokemon, like it is a blast. And I cannot recommend it to anybody else. It's the funnest business model I've ever had. It's the first time I feel like something's working, and it's the first thing that I can be actually proud of. Between the numbers, the media, the socials that I've met, I feel like I can go anywhere with this, and that's my goal. So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I feel like I did. It's going to be a lot of vlogs coming up, a lot of fun videos, but this is important. This is important to talk about. I am a very, you know, show everything. I show everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you drop a like, drop a comment, ask any questions you want, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in next week's vlog at the Brotherly Love New Jersey show. Peace.